He says we're live. I'm just waiting so that I could share. So if we are live, when I tell you everything that could have happened, did happen, but we are going to go ahead and go forth anyway. So thank you for logging in. Waiting to see if I can find it as live right now. It's still not showing up on my. There we go.
He says we're live. I'm just waiting.
There we go. We're live. So give us a minute to share. Thank you all. Maybe I need to be starting at 7 instead of because last week the same thing happened. The lighting looks great. All right. Thank God for my husband because I will be fussy till I can get it figured out. But we are here.
There we go. He says we're live. I'm just waiting a minute to share. Thank you all.
There I try to share too. All right. All right. Wubby is going to share. I'm sharing, but I'm so thankful that you guys are here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We have something good to talk about, and
yes,
the enemy is always busy.
He's a hater. He's a hater. It is what it is. Beware.
But it's all good. So it's looking good. I'm happy about what I'm seeing. And if you all would share where you are. Look, she got to hug her pillow.
I do.
Hi, Aunt Bay. Look, Beth is watching. I
Hi,
see
Aunt
you.
Bay.
All right. So we're right there at that camera today. We had to turn all the cameras off, all the microphones, and then we finally have it to where at least one microphone is going to be working for us. So I thank you all for those of you who are on live, who came on with us. Thank you so much. People were sending me messages. Are you live? I can't find you. You were right. You couldn't find us. We couldn't even find us. So, all right. A few more minutes to share. I didn't want to start after 7. I was like, look, if I start after 7, before I do that, I will go live on my phone. But it's all good. We got some shadows in the background, but we are good to go. I want to do one other thing so I can make sure Whoopi has good lighting while she's sharing.
I'm a light. Mm-hmm. I'm already a light.
All right. There we go. I think that gives her a little bit more light. And see, that's what happens when you're starting, and it's called small beginnings, because this is that small beginning. And I was determined that regardless of what, I was not going to let anything stop me from what it is that I am doing. I know God has been blessing me and encouraging me to do what it was that I stopped doing. So I went back. And so that's where we are right now. I'm going to go ahead and get started on the interview. I know you guys saw the video and saw what we posted to let us remember what we're talking about, or to not to remember what we're talking about, to encourage you to see what it is we're talking about. And this topic today is usually one that you don't hear a lot about. You don't hear a lot of people talking about that ugly topic about divorce and what happens. I called it the break. And so this session is called After the Break. And I have lots of questions to ask my sister. Y'all know that's my sister?
They better know.
So anyway, we are going to get ready to get started. I want you all to know that today we have, as my announcement said, we have the poet, we have the prophet, and we have, I should say, the cook, the chef.
I mean,
the chef,
I'll wear the hat,
and the author. So if you all don't know, my sister wrote her poetry book, I don't know how many years ago.
It's been since probably 2011.
It's been a long time. And I don't know
it
if
started in 2007. A lot of things are dated.
Yeah, I don't even see when you actually wrote it.
2012 when it actually, I think, came out.
When it came out.
After, yep. Yeah.
And so if you've never seen her book, it's Entering into the Secret Place. It's some beautiful poetry and some imagery in here. And at that time, Kimani was just a little baby. I'm looking at this baby. I saw this baby picture of Kimani in here. And some of the poems, look at Troy. Troy was just a little baby. So this is how long ago she started writing her poetry. Some of them she wrote, they have different dates.
Yeah, they were dated during
2006, during church service. God was giving her the heart of God. when
A
God was
prayer,
giving
yeah.
her poetry. So I have it here. I have a couple copies I can share one, but you know, let me know if you're interested in having them. She had given me a couple way before when Newt and I were doing launch so that we could share with people.
And I'm on Amazon. So you
And
can
she's
order.
still on Amazon, so you go ahead and order. All right, so we're going to get started. I have it listed as after the break because of the conversations that don't seem to happen
Yeah.
after somebody gets divorced or while they're going through divorce. A lot of times we're identified by the relationship.
Mhm.
And so when the relationship doesn't go as planned,
Yeah.
a lot of times people are on the sidelines trying to figure out what happened. And a lot of support isn't always there.
No, there's no
Matter of
support.
fact, a lot of conversation about the divorce
Mhm.
doesn't really happen with the divorcees.
No.
Many times it happens on the outside. So I wanted to make sure that we had a safe space where we can have that conversation, not about the bad parts of just the divorce, but then what God did to help build you up and to get you to where you
That's
are right
the best
now.
part.
The safe place, the healing place.
The best part,
Hello. Oh, look, here they're coming in. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for joining us. All right. So just to start with my opening thoughts, many women grow up believing their identity is tied to being a wife, a mother, or a partner. But what happens when the title changes? Where are you when the title changes? You know, or if the title changes? How do we rediscover who we are when life as we knew it is suddenly gone? Now, I can testify to this because I too had been through a divorce. And so many times when women are tied to the title of a failed marriage when divorce happens, but nobody looks at the situation that took place before, what that woman was going through in her childhood that she may have taken into that relationship or what he brought to the relationship. And so a lot of the counseling or the support doesn't always happen. All we hear is, oh, they're married. And then we hear, oh, it's bad. They're getting divorced. And so a lot of conversation doesn't happen. And so I had to go back and think. I tried to write some notes for myself of the time that I went through my divorce and how embarrassed I felt. As a matter of fact, you were there as a witness that I was going to who at that time was my pastor years ago. I'm not going to say, you know, anything about that, but just at that time was my pastor. And when I started sharing that this situation is really bad, I was told, now this was things that were said in the old church before, that I made my bed, that I had to lay in it. So no one even heard what I was trying to say about all of the hurtful things that I was dealing with. Nobody listened to my feelings or what my children were experiencing in the relationship. It was just almost like a punitive. You made your bed. You decided to marry. So now you got to lay in that bed. And that day, it was that day, I think I kind of got that wake up call. And I walked out of the church and my mom and them were all in there with me. And I walked out and I got in my car and I was finished. Not with God, but I was finished trying to get support, comfort, or sympathy from people who did not understand what was happening. And it let me know that other people are going to have to go through this. And I remember one of the elders following me to my car and banging on the window. And I kept my window up because I had made a decision. There's no reason for me to talk about it. Because nobody could hear. Nobody could understand me. So what would you say to women who are now trying to rediscover their identity in God after being defined by that failure?
That's a big thing. So for myself, I had to find me again because a lot of times you're tied to the failure of the marriage. And the part that people forget is they always want to know the blame game. Who's at fault? who did it. And because sometimes the other party will move on and get in 20 relationships after you, it makes it look like it's you.
It's you.
But the difference is I was determined that I would not get into something and define myself by a relationship so quickly.
Right.
Because I didn't want to take in any old baggage and I wanted to get rid of stuff. Because sometimes, you know, we hear that you're supposed to stay, you're supposed to work it out. And I'm all for marriage. Like I'm team marriage. If you can make it work, make it work.
Right.
But one person can't make it work. You know, and so I would tell people to find who you are in God. That I'm telling you, if it was not for my relationship with God, if it was not for those moments when I was on my face, when those moments that I cried out to God when no one heard me, you know, no one was there, no one understood, and even the church was absent. Right, the church is absent when it comes to divorce. Like nobody wants to talk about it, but yet you want to keep. You know, the way I felt then is you wanted to keep all the women in the church working, but you didn't even see what was going on with their heart, with their home, or in their homes, or, you know, so that was a big thing for me. I separated myself from the church and from people because I had to re-identify myself with who God said that I was. Right. Like I had to go back to that original DNA and see where I was, and not just to blame. It became a mirror situation where I had to look in the mirror and say, what in me keeps attracting this? Wow. What is it? What is hidden garbage, baggage, whatever it is in me that keeps attracting this type of magnet? You know, why? Right. You know, because when you have this type of person, you know, when you put the same end of a magnet together, it's supposed to repel, right? Right. So, but for some reason, so I was like, God, what is it in me? So I had to dig deep. And that's a painful process. Dig deep. What? Dig deep. So now you have death of a marriage. Right. You have death of yourself, of what you once known was. And you got to deal with it. You're left there to deal with it. And in my case, I was left there picking up my pieces and my children. Yeah. Because at the end of the day in the marriage, someone's selfish. Someone is selfish. Someone is selfish. Someone still has to look at the faces in the day to day, and someone gets to act like it never happened. Yeah. And so it's difficult, intentional or unintentional. Right. You know, right. It happens. And for me, I had to forget about myself at first and see about my children. See about your kids. So that was big. And in that situation, like that was very powerful. I'm thinking about the fact that there is someone who's going to be selfish. There is someone who might feel like I can't go and check on everybody else because of whatever they're dealing with. You're right. There is one selfish party that may be able to just keep on going like nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened. And that's a fact. Which can cause issues with you. You feel, then that comes in, if you ever dealt with rejection in your life, that rejection comes back up. What is wrong with me? What's wrong with me? How come God allows this to happen? Why is God allowing this to happen? And I had to really look at, you know, no longer blaming, like, because, you know, you get mad at God. Oh, yeah, you do. Like, I was very like, look, if we going to go on this grass in a minute, because I just felt like, are you hearing me? I'm living the way I should live. I'm honoring you. I'm not doing things that I shouldn't do. Right. Not that I was perfect, you know what I'm saying, but I'm here. Right. Right. And I get up everybody else. I get up every day. Taking care of these children. I don't get to decide where my paycheck goes. Right. I don't get to decide if I want to go away for the weekend or spend my time doing this if my rent isn't paid or if my lights aren't on, or if my kids need whatever. Yeah. So like it became a place where I lost myself trying to overcompensate for my children. There it is. Yep. That right there. I lost myself in my kids. And then it became, I became God of my kids. Yeah. Because I began to guard them. And protect. You know, and guard them and guard them and guard them and protect, because you're not going to do to them what you did to me. Right. So I became a guardian over them. And then one day, I don't know who I was talking to. I think me and Kai was talking one time at my house. And it was Kai. We talked about it before about the kids because, you know, I would send my daughter with her because she was talking about I'll be keeping my kids to myself. But then my friend Christine said, I remember I was in Arizona then, and she told me, she said, God is not going to let anything happen to your children. You're more powerful than he is. He is going to protect them. Did you not remember the promises that he made you? And I was like, wow. But in protecting my kids, I was hurting myself.
Yep.
And so I'm like, God, wait, I'm supposed to, protect my kids, but I got to do this. And all I kept hearing was guard your heart with all diligence. Be diligent about your heart. I got them.
Yeah.
Because whatever you put in yourself and whatever you're releasing, they're affected.
And we don't always realize. I didn't realize that my overprotected, you can send messages and everything. My overprotectedness of my kids because of my own brokenness.
Yeah.
Because I was broke. Okay. First of all, let me start off with this. I got married and my first marriage broke.
Yeah.
And see, a lot of times we don't want to admit that.
Broken.
I came from what was in my mom's household. And there was in my mom's house at that time, there was no example of marriage.
Right.
My grandmom and grandpa was pretty much, except for on my dad's side, but we didn't spend as much time watching that. So when I came from my mom's house, already making decrees, making decrees that I won't do this. I'm never going to let this happen.
Yeah.
And we don't even realize that when we sign, seal that, it gets delivered.
Yeah.
And so what was happening, I was making decrees of what I wasn't going to let happen to my kids based upon what had happened to me. Yeah. That by the time I got married, I just thought, this person seems to love me. This person treats me a certain way. I'm going to get married. Even though there were clear telltale signs.
Clear telltales.
That I should not marry, that I should do another thing. And that's why I think maybe the response that I got was, you made your bed.
Yeah.
But what I think they missed, Wub, was that the reason why I got married, here's the caveat, is because we were taught it's better
to marry
than to burn. And so because I was in this relationship and I was engaged to get married, anytime we were together, I was like praying. I was at the tub at nighttime praying, asking God to forgive me. Don't come back before I can repent. Please let us get married so that we can carry out this life so I don't have to go to hell. I didn't want to go to hell. But all kept ringing in my head, it's better to marry than to burn. And be sure your sins will find you out. These were those things that were being said. So coming in broken, jacked up from the beginning.
Right.
Decreed up with a whole lot of decrees that I was making, trying to align my life to my own flesh, not understanding, and then getting married under the auspice of those things that were being said to me or that I knew as a kid. So then here I am in this relationship, and then the whole time, you said it a few minutes ago, you got to stay together, telling me that I got to stay together, telling me I was being not physically jacked up, but I was being mistreated because anytime you don't know the use of something, you abuse it. Yeah. Whether you physical, and I wasn't getting physically abused, but the ill treatment and all the stuff that I thought I could handle and not do so that my children weren't hurt, I end up hurting them myself.
Doing it yourself. Yeah.
What I decreed I wouldn't do, I end up doing with overprotectedness.
Yeah. I remember when I was, going through that process, and I was like, God, what are some things that I might have said that I don't even remember?
Yeah, we don't remember.
Right? And so it was like beginning to go back to that place, and I began to dig up those rooted areas, those decrees that I spoke and believed. With all my heart. Ain't no man gonna do this.
And try to carry it out.
And that was the thing I was carrying out. And all along, I was the Lord of it.
Yep.
Right. And so I was like, God, I ain't gonna let this happen. You ain't gonna do that. And if you try to do this. And so coming from, if anybody knows how my grandma did not play.
No, she'd tell you to fight.
Ruthie didn't play about her babies either. Okay. But we were strong. We were taught to take care of everything. Like I watched my mom, I watched my mom, she gonna handle it and it's gonna get done. And they made it look so easy because we didn't see the pain of what I believe my mom experienced. She never exposed us to it. She wouldn't let us know she was hurting.
Right.
Not till the very end of life when we start having those adult conversations. Like she didn't let us see it. It was almost like that commercial, never let them see you sweat.
Yeah.
Like it was the secret for real. like never let them see you sweat. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, but what I decreed after I got through the healing process, and I'm gonna let my kids see me sweat.
Yep. Let them see you hurt.
I let them see me broken.
Let them know.
I let them see me cry. And then I let them see me healed.
Mm-hmm.
I let them see me whole. I let them see me, be able to go through. And is it perfect? No, it's not perfect.
Mm-mm.
But they know, they understand, and they can draw their own opinions by what they see. And then they have to, determine and make things for their life. But I always tell them, like, I always spoken to them, like even my son, I always told him that, like, I always treated him, because I said, you are somebody's husband, and I will not allow you to get it wrong.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I always said, like, examples, like, I am the perfect example. I remember when we was little, they was like, experience is the best teacher. No, my experience will be your best teacher. What I went through,
you don't
so
have
you
to.
never have
That's
to.
right.
You know what I mean? So it is difficult, especially when it comes to kids. And then you got to divide friendships.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody we're a part of, and people still want to be a part of your family, and people still want to be. And I'm like,
and how do you draw
the line?
Yeah. How? And that's that's so key, because they see you and they feel awkward because the relationship has separated.
Yeah.
They feel awkward when they see you, that those friends, because it's like they have to pick a side. They got to choose a side. And it's so uncomfortable. But what do we do as the body of believers?
Yeah,
what do we do? And I'm trying to remember. I've traveled. I lived in San Diego. I lived in Arizona. I've lived in Virginia. And the whole time, any church houses that I've actually been to, and I'm not saying this doesn't exist, I don't really remember seeing an area where divorcees,
there was a ministry for
have a minute, where they go and see about, those people who are struggling with, trying to figure out who they are, trying to find who they are, trying to remind themselves that God is still present and they're purposeful, trying to remember that stuff, because many times it just don't get talked about. No. What happens is we just put you right back in the place where you were before, in the singles club. Yeah. And you're not just a single. You're not a single anymore. You've been through this. You might have to go through some of the things that singles go through because you know how to maintain yourself, but you're not just a single.
Yeah. You need a widow's ministry.
Because you're a widow. You're a widow.
Like, it's
I've been
death,
telling people that for years.
It's a death that happens. The only difference, death is easier.
Yeah.
Because you never have to see the corpse again.
That's exactly this.
But
is
in
Miles
a marriage,
Monroe. Yep.
But in a marriage, the corpse will pop up in the grocery store,
everywhere,
on your Facebook page, on your front door,
on your door to pick up the kids or something like that.
I'm like, the corpse will show up.
You will see them again, and we're not speaking ill of the person or any of the individual people.
It's a death.
We're talking about that it's almost better if it is a death with a funeral, because you don't have to see them again. Those old feelings, you have to now train yourself not to dislike them, not to remember, not to remember what they did, so that you don't have. I had to teach God knows I had to teach myself. And I remember sharing a testimony. Actually, I was going to Heart of God, and I remember one day I was saying, I'm gonna drop. I think we were in a Bible study. It was a Wednesday night. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to drop the child support. I remember saying that.
Okay.
And I said, I go to court tomorrow. I don't know. It's funny. Erica, Amy, you were here. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I was like, I'm just going to drop it. I'm going to let it go. And so the next day I had a court hearing, and I was getting child support for the kids. And I was like, I'm going to drop not the support, but the arrears. The arrears were like $7,000. They were like $7,000. But while we sat in that Bible study, nobody taught it. Holy Spirit told me to let them go.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So the next day we had a hearing for child support. And I was like, I got in there, and he was on the defense. He had an attorney. The attorney was saying, don't the church give you money? And I was like, no, but they didn't know I came in there with a clean heart.
Yeah.
I came in there with a clean heart. And I was like, I sat and I said, I waited, and I said to him, tell your attorney to go so that we can have this conversation. Now, mind you, the lady who was handling it, she was saying, you can get this much, like she was going to double my amount.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, I wasn't interested because what the Lord had told me to do,
Yes.
right? So I said, tell your attorney to go. And when I tell you the attorney, he told him, you got to go. The attorney came back and was like, you got to give me my money, because all the attorney cared about was his money. So he handed the money to the attorney. And once that happened, I said to the lady, you can erase all the arrears. It was $7,000 some odd dollars. And he was like, and this is where the change happened. He told the lady, this is what I'm going to do. I'll keep cover my daughter under the insurance. I'll pay this amount, because I was sending my daughter to Catholic school. And we came to an agreement. I had to learn how to get into a place where we could, it was a co-parenting position, but even beyond that, where I forgave.
Yes.
Because I finally knew who I was. And so that's what I learned at that ministry. Pastor Troy was big on telling us who we were and how our kids would plateau and take off from where we are. And I was like, I don't want them to be this way. I still had some areas of my life to fix, but I forgave that man.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
a learning process.
Let me tell you, I had that process right before I moved to Arizona. It was 2014. It was New Year's Eve. We just came to New Year's Day. It was 2015, and I was standing in my kitchen sink, and I was remembering, because I was like, I lived at Stonewood, and I wanted to move, and the Lord said he was going to open these doors for me, and I went to do my taxes, but the job that I had, they didn't take no taxes out, so I was going to have to pay all this money in, and I was at the sink, and I was watching this New Year's Word, because I stayed home for watch night, and I was just cleaning, and I was doing my dishes, and the Lord said, give us this day our daily bread. And he was like, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And I said, what? He said, if you want to be forgiven of your debt, you've got to be willing to forgive them debts. So I went down. At the time, there was a huge arrears, bigger than that. And I went and I canceled the arrears. Yeah. Didn't even say it, didn't even tell, didn't even mention it. I canceled the arrears. The moment I canceled the arrears, I got on the phone. Yeah. The next day, I had a house in Arizona. See? 3 months before I left, I had a house in Arizona without a job. I only had to put $100 down for a security deposit. And right before I moved, I got $5,000 on my taxes returned after they took all the debt out. This money came out of nowhere. Right before I moved, that I was able to pay a couple months up and rent, nothing lost. And as I was going, that's what I kept hearing. If you forgive people of their debts, then I'll forgive you of yours. Yeah. And I was like, my God, that's simple. That's simple, of reaping and sowing that quick in a process like that. Yeah. So a lot of people think it's not about the money. It's not about the money. I don't care. We are going to not go without, because God has been my source. It's not about my money. It's just the principle of things, And so at that point, it was a big place of healing for me, because I was able to go free. So this here part, what's a truth about you in Christ that you've learned that no one can take from you again? That I am who he says I am. That you're who he says you are. Being told many times, you're not all that, you ain't this, and then God. But I was like, wait a minute. I thought about it. The enemy is so quick to constantly tell you who you're not, because he's afraid of who you are. So whatever, he's not going to attack somebody. That's not. That's the truth. So I was like, well, period. I must be like, because he's heated. You know what I mean? And so no one can ever tell me who I'm not. Yep. And so that's something to encourage you all, for those of you who have gone through divorce or gone through those hurt processes, even in relationship, and you almost got married, you had committed to the marriage and you were about to be married and it did not work out and there was a split and you start to feel a tearing away. And that's something that Wubby said earlier. And I do want to hit on this really quick. Frida will know, Frida Brown and Jean Brown
God sent them for me.
Mm.
Because as I was going through the divorce, I remember coming home from work, and anybody who knows, I've shared this story before. I came home from work. It was a Friday. I had already taken my kids. They were all going to stay at different places that day. And I came home to my apartment on Madison Avenue that God gave me, because I didn't have the credit or the money, but the Lord gave that to me in that process. And I went in the apartment. It was 4:00. I made my bath water. And the divorce was going through the filing, and it was like I could already feel the tearing away of the relationship. And I don't think people understand that when you make a covenant and it's breaking, you feel the tearing in yourself, in your soul, in your spirit, in your man. And so I turned on the bath water, I put the bubble baths in, and in my mind, it was my last bath. In my mind, I told myself, and it was Easter weekend. It was Good Friday. I made that water and I got in that tub and I said, I'm going to go to bed. And I made sure my kids were not home, because I was going to go to sleep, because I felt like I was not going to wake up. I felt like that was going to be my last day on earth. So I got in the tub, and as I'm in the tub, my phone rings. I don't get out the tub to answer no phone.
Yeah.
But this day, it was like God was telling me to get out. I let it ring. And I was like, oh, whatever. I jumped out the tub and I answered the phone, and it was Frida Brown. When I tell you, her and Eugene, anybody who knows Frida, where you doing, punk? We coming to get you.
Yeah.
The Lord put me on their heart that day. And I was like, I'm in the tub. Why? It's early. We on our way. Get ready. Hung up on me. So you can't say no to her. So I went on. I hurried up. I got dressed. That was my saving grace.
Yeah.
That saved my life, because I knew it was over for me. And I went with her. Her and Jean took me out, bought my kids clothes, bought me clothes, bought all kinds of stuff, filled my house up, and did something special for me. And that thing, Newt teases all the time about that black dress, but Frida and Jean bought me that black dress and hid it in the bag. And when I got in the house, I pulled that dress out and knew that they had bought it for me. And that Sunday I met Newt. What I'm saying is, there is a tearing that happens to us.
It's a death.
You die.
Instant.
It is a death.
And some of them slow death.
And it's painful.
Every day.
Yes. Because you're blaming yourself.
Yeah.
You're realizing that, the stuff that you thought would be is no longer. And now you got to come up from here. So what do we tell young women, old women, any woman, even men?
Yeah.
When that divorce process is happening, what do we say to them so that they don't give up?
Yeah. I always tell people to go through it. Because a lot of times we try to exit the process, which delays everything else.
Yeah.
I say go through it. And go through it with grace. Because nobody told me that you could go through a divorce with grace.
Some grace.
I was like, hold on. Like, I can give myself grace here. And it's not going to be perfect. It's going to look ugly. It's going to look messy, and it's going to spill out all over everybody. Like, I remember one time I was in my house. I was in Arizona at the time. I just moved here. And my kids was acting up, like, from Kimani. Kimani wasn't bad.
Act up.
She was setting it off.
You wasn't acting up.
Kimani was setting it off. Troy was setting it off. Michaela was setting it off, and they were lit. Michaela was like probably one. She was setting it off. And I looked, and Booper was setting it off. My house was, I couldn't get it organized. I couldn't get it out. It was just a mess to me. You know how we are. And so I went in the bathroom. I just cried. I was like, I'm sick of all these people here. Y'all can have a house.
Yeah.
So I went in the bathroom. I shut the door. And I remember I was over the sink in that first bathroom where I lived. And I looked in the mirror, and only thing I could hear was, I looked in the mirror. I said, God, what is in me that is spilling out of my children? Because it starts at the head. I know I'm only half of their head, but they're here. So what am I expressing on my
Mhm.
children that's making them act out because they can't handle it.
Yeah.
They can't handle
They
it.
can't
I
handle
was spilling out.
it.
And that's when I started realizing. I remember I was writing and I said, that's when I realized that brokenness has a sound, it has a scent, it has 5 senses. It has a taste, it has a touch, it has a sight, it has a smell, and it has a sound. And you've got to figure out what is what. And then when you notice it, you got to deal with it.
Yeah.
I remember I went to sleep. I was laying on my bed and I had my window open in my bedroom. I was just laying there, breeze blowing, that good Arizona breeze coming through the window. And I heard this sound of a truck. And immediately I got sick and nauseous because it took me back to a place when I would hear his truck pull up.
Oh my God.
Going through a divorce state.
Right.
And this is long over.
Yeah. But
and I got sick. And I was like, what is that? And that's when I wrote that poem, Brokenness Has a Sound. And it's in my new book. It's in my new book coming soon. It's called Stages of My Healing, coming soon. But but brokenness has a sound. And because I realized that the sound of a truck brought me back to a place.
That's good.
And so I just began to cry out. And that's when I remembered I got this mason jar. And I put everything I was feeling, every memory in this mason jar. And the Lord, I remember I was sitting there and the Lord said, burn it. And I was like, I'm going to set a fire up in here. And I had that jar and I burned everything in that jar. And he was like, this is where I'm going to give you beauty for ashes. And at that point, I could hear a truck.
Wow.
I could get something and the memory never came back because it was something that was still there.
Yeah.
It was something that was still there that I wasn't even aware of, right? It was a hidden place. And I was like, God, search my heart.
Yep.
Search my heart for places that I'm not even aware. Like my heart had pockets.
I know that's right.
That was hiding things, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, you got to expose it, even if it hurts me.
Even if it hurts me.
You've got to expose it because I'll never heal laying under the hill.
Yeah. Wow.
Like I'll never heal because I kept burying it and burying it and burying it. It was like I'll never heal. And that next day, that same truck that was out there by my house the whole time pulled up. It never bothered me again.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. I'm yawning because she's older. But wow.
But yeah. And I realized that's what I was like, somebody's got to know that sounds, smells, things you might eat, something you might touch will trigger a memory. It collects DNA.
Look at
because
this.
of the physical
My
contact
God.
you have with that person. You become one.
That's the part. That's why the ripping.
It's like a bank robbery. When you touch stuff, your fingerprints show up. And the only way to remove your fingerprint is if you become a hairdresser and use that peroxide. They can't trace it after a while. But literally, your fingerprint, everything has a DNA print.
Maybe that is why it is better for us to wait to get married and have children and make sure. But then again, there's still no guarantee.
There's still no guarantee.
There's still no guarantee.
Yeah, there's no guarantee.
There is no guarantee. Wow, that right hit something there because there is none. There's still no guarantee. And although we trust God, it takes two. You had mentioned that it takes two of you to be married.
Yeah.
It takes the dedication, the consecration, the covenant of the two to say yes to become one. And it
what you did to get it, you got to do to keep it. If you do all this stuff, courting, you've got to court the whole way through. Maintenance has to happen. You can't just say, oh, I did all this, now I got you. It's lock.
Yeah.
No, because it was something in that was attractive.
Well, we call that the representative. And so what happens is that representative will show up.
What?
And if you're not looking, if you're not paying attention because you're all head over heels, then the representative have you wrapped up. And then later on you start to see, oh wait, there's some things here that I didn't pay attention to because I was so caught up. So you don't ever want to fall in love. As you fall, that's the problem. So divorce itself is like a grief that never ends. If you And you're going to feel it. They're going to, but Wubby mentioned, going through it with grace. So,
Yeah.
but healing doesn't mean like just forgetting the things that happened. Although you forgive and you forget, what that forget part means is that you don't hold it to their charge anymore. But it's not that you don't know things happen to you, because you then have to have your testimony.
Right.
So it means finding God right in the middle of your pain. So find him in the middle. That's where that grace comes in at. That's where it's like, listen, I'm going through it. It's hard. I'm not going to pretend it's not. I'm not going to fake the funk and act like everything is perfect.
Yeah.
But there's grace for me.
Yeah. That was a part of like that grace thing. And I didn't really get that grace part until last year.
How about that?
I remember because it was, and it was actually, I think it was Mother's Day weekend. I preached at Cousin Nini's church. Her and Innan had me speak there. I think it was Mother's Day. And the message, and I was like, Lord, what do I say to mothers, first of all? But the message was about Eve, the original mother, and how all the things that she endured. And a lot of times when we hear the Eve story, the Adam and Eve story, everybody puts the blame on Eve. Eve did this, Eve did that. And I was like, wait a minute, because me, don't get me to preaching it, but I was just talking about that. Like, she might have had the fruit in her hand, but things didn't shift until he ate. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay,
let's talk about that.
It was what he was told to do.
But the thing that got me was, I was like, everybody's so mad at Eve.
Yeah.
But we've got to give her grace, because this woman birthed the world. She carried a nation in her. And even in the midst of her mess up, we are still here in creation.
Yeah, we're still here.
We're still here in creation.
Still having a baby.
Even in the midst of it. Right? And I said, so that same grace that we have to extend to Eve, we need to extend to ourselves. And I didn't even realize that I didn't give myself grace. It's okay to be ugly in the process. It's okay to get ugly. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's okay to cry out.
Express your
It's okay to say, I'm hurting.
I'm mad.
I will fight. Y'all know I'll fight. I know Leroy was on there. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But I would say, and I would charge the church as a whole to begin to start ministries for women, not single women just wanting to be married. But ministries for women who are single that have been broken in marriages or relationships, or single in the marriage, right? Because I've been that. But I'm just saying, like, allow people, churches, you need to open your doors, because I'm sorry, and I know we hate to hear it, but most of the churches are full of women. And I was watching this pastor on, and this is what hit me the other day. I was watching this pastor on YouTube the other day. I don't even know who it was. I just got done watching, I think, a Tiffany Montgomery, and this pastor came on and said, I think that the church, the Black church, is a big part of the blame of why our women are single. And I was like, wait, hold on. No, he didn't. But I was like, wait a minute. I have went to our counterpart churches, and where they have marriage ministries, but they got marriage ministries because they have like 500 marriages.
500 marriages.
But we have small churches, a marriage ministry with 3 couples. And then we have all these singles. But yet you got to be a church. You got to show up here. You got to do this. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, we talked about this before.
What about their life? This church is not your life. You know what I mean? Church is a part of your life.
Your relationship.
You are the church.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Like, I'm paid, like, upon this rock, he has built his church. Right. And so I'm like, wait, if I have the ability to be a part of this building and shift, what can I do on my own? Right. And so we've got to realize that, like, don't push your people to show up because you feel the call in your life to be there for everything. Don't call me and text me because I'm not at everything. Because I'm telling you, I'm not going to be at everything. Because I have to find that time and that space for me. For healing. Because I'm not getting it here. Because you're not seeing me. Nobody's calling me. And I even said, like, being at a church before where everybody's calling the pastors. Y'all need this, y'all need that. But they're one. Call us. call each other and see what the need is.
Yeah.
Like we can't keep falling over. That's how we start being, idling our pastors. They become our idols. Like, yes, check on them, love them. Because I'm number one. I love my pastors. But what about each other?
Yeah.
I hear women talking about, I don't want to hear that you got to live holy and you got somebody laying with you.
Yeah.
You can't, you're not experiencing it. They need to hear that from somebody that's real, raw, and righteous. That was Pastor Frida's word. Somebody, they got to hear it. They got to see it. They got to experience. And you got to open them doors for people to come in and just tell their truth.
Yeah.
Because if you want people to stop sleeping around, you want people to stop doing this and that, you got to let them tell the truth.
Let them tell the truth.
My house has always been a place of truth. Like people can come and talk about the real raw. Because that was my brick and mortar. That was my ministry for
that was first
3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
When I wasn't even going into the building.
Yeah, me too.
God told me to prepare a table.
Yes, he did.
And I prepared that table and we had ministry every week.
Yeah.
Every week. Breaking and tearing and crying and sometimes all night.
Yeah.
All night. You know what I mean? And so my house has always been that. But I was like, God, I got mad. I was like, God, I'm tired of being that for everybody else. And who's that for me? Who is that for me?
It's true.
I have nobody to turn. That's how I feel. I have nobody to turn to. Everybody has a life.
Right. That's very,
I
hear
you got to think about that real, like,
That's
I was
true.
ready to fight everybody.
Real talk.
Like, come on,
Erica
do y'all
said
see
real
me?
talk.
And cuz Prophetess Erica, no, because she prophesied that to me at the Heart of God.
Wow.
Remember that?
Oh, yes.
Do they see me?
I remember that.
At the Heart of God.
Sitting in the second row, you were on the end and she came. Yes, I remember.
Because that was on my heart at that time.
Yeah.
That was on my heart because people see me because I'm a big personality. People see me because I'm going to keep people laughing. People see me when you need somebody to have your back. They know to come get Wub. People see me.
Yeah.
But when I was broken, they were absent. And they wasn't present with the Lord.
Wow.
So they wasn't absent from the body for that reason. But they forgot about this big personality. Under that is a person with a heart.
That's true.
Broken.
So that's the big deal right there.
Yeah.
Like in my classroom, I have for my students the big idea or the big thing. What's the issue? Why don't we consider people who are going through those things? Why is that? And not just churches, but we are the church. Me, church. Why don't I consider that for someone else who's struggling? That's big. That's big. That's huge.
It is.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah. I felt like I was in a Job season. Like I felt God was just going around telling people, have you considered her? Like, let her go through it. I felt like it because everything I could go through, I feel like I went through. And, and the very first time it happened, I went through the death of mommy.
Yeah.
Then a divorce. And I'm sitting there looking at these kids like, what do I do with y'all? What do I do with y'all? Everybody's life had to go on. You were in Virginia. I think you were in Virginia on your way to San Diego, right? It's me, and I'm like sitting there, I got my kids and I got my sister. And I'm like, where am I in the equation? Where am I? Wow. Because is this all it is? Is this it? But now I look at it and I look at my kids like
that's
the
part. And so that's I definitely wanted to get into that too, because even through the difficulty, there is a healing that's happening. And I remember Prophetess Iana she mentioned something, and I'm going to apply it to this, where she was talking about even in bondage, there is freedom. Yeah. And so I would say even in a brokenness, there is a healing. And so even when you're going through that broken place, there is a healing deep down inside that we have to allow to blossom. Like a flower. You guys know Newton, our gardeners, and when I think about the very smallest flower, I mean towards not even a quarter of an inch, can turn out to be the largest cucumber or the largest, most beautiful tomato as it grows and as it is nurtured and as it is watered and as it is pruning. And there is a pruning process that we all go through, that God is trying to do in us. And it's not always for us. most times it's for the nations, it's
The
for the
nations.
world, it's for somebody else who needs to be able to come to
Mhm.
you and say, Miss Wubby, this is happening.
Yeah.
How do I heal when I'm hurting? How do I forgive when I
Mhm.
want to fight? What do I do? How do I
Yeah.
do this? And so your testimony today, your story and how God is getting the glory out of your life, I will say to you, and I know I'm jumping, you took that situation
Mhm.
and figured out how you were going to take care of these kids, and not only just take care of them, but try to give them the best of the
Yeah.
best. And I don't know too many people who single who will work and try to pay for their kids to go to the best school. I don't know that. I don't know too many people who don't get financial aid, hear me clearly, and will work and pay one credit or class at a time to work towards a degree. There's not too many people that can do that. And so I feel like when you shared your story that the Lord had told you about the forgiveness, in the first time you all were married, and you let that go, that you're still reaping the residue of, I don't want to just say it's the residue, but you're still reaping from that God is still blessing you and letting you see that he got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That he's got you.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah. I had to get by myself. A lot of people, didn't understand why I had to leave.
Yeah.
I wasn't running from nothing. Okay. I wasn't running from a thing, but I had to go because God said he wanted me alone.
Yeah.
I had to go to a place where it was just me. And one of my dear friends, Christine, went, and my brother Port.
Yep.
They was my village.
Yep.
Christine took me there. She stayed, made sure I got myself together, got my house set up. My brother stayed there with me for about 6 months, maybe 4 or 5, maybe about 6 months. And before he came back, but that was the setup for me. And then I was in a place, and then my niece and nephew was there, but then they left. And I had to get there and be alone.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I was 20 weeks pregnant with my baby.
Yeah.
Okay, I was 20 weeks pregnant. Troy was 4. Kimani was 5. Booper, which is Booper, was booping. And I was 20 weeks pregnant. And I drove and went out to we drove and went out to Arizona. And I remember I was going to the church one time when I was at True Bread, and we would sing the song For Your Glory.
Yeah.
We would sing For Your Glory. And every time we would sing that song, that was my cut. When I would be by myself, I would keep singing it. And I would sing, get to the part, I crossed the hottest desert. I could never finish the song. I would break. And cry. And I'm talking about a whole year. When I moved to Arizona, I was on my way to my first doctor's appointment to New Horizons. And I was going down.
Hear the name of the doctor's
New
office.
Horizons. Okay. I was going down the street, going down 48th Street, 48. But I was going down 48 to hit Chandler to go to New Horizons. And I started, the song For Your Glory came on. And I'm singing For Your Glory. I crossed the hottest desert, travel near and far for your glory. And then the song went off and I broke. Because the Lord said, you had to cross the hottest desert for my glory. Now you're in a place where it's just me and you. When you are in a place, this is what he said, where you say you want a new couch, but you can't write a check out for it and just buy a couch, or you want to get this in your house and you can't pay for it. That's where I was. And I'm going to tell you, I was 20 weeks pregnant when I moved out there. I did not work till my daughter was 6 weeks pregnant, 6 weeks. And then the crazy thing, I called myself working at the University of Phoenix.
I remember that.
Because they had hired me already.
I remember.
And so but it got pushed back until July. And I was like, oh my God, I'm about to have her. So I was like, I'm going to go to work because I need money. 3 days, the doctor put me on bed rest.
Yeah.
Bed rest.
Yeah.
And he said, didn't I tell you not to work? The whole time I worked 3 days from being 20 weeks pregnant to Michaela was 6 weeks. I did not work. And when I tell you, my customers from my salon sent me, let me tell you, Kay Kunkel was a lifesaver. They would send me cards on birthdays, send me checks. It was paying bills, paying off cars, my dad, Mama Rose, they were sending money, depositing money in my account. I did not want for anything. Nothing. But I had to leave everything behind for his glory.
Yeah.
Didn't care what nobody thought, said, did, wanted, nothing. It was my season. And he told me, you are in the valley of dry bones, but there is life here.
There's life.
Oh my God. And I was like,
life in the
so
valley.
whenever you're ready to send me back, Lord,
to Arizona. Look, now she's jumping on.
Okay. Just wanted to throw that disclaimer.
So for those of you who are, because I just feel like there are still people who are watching or who may watch who are dealing with that hurt part, and you're trying to get beyond the hurt to the healing. Give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Give yourself grace. It'll come. People might have some things to say about, well, the way she's acting, how mad she's acting, and give yourself grace, because people have no idea what's happening with you in here.
Yeah.
They have no idea. They don't know how you feel. Yeah. They don't know what you've said to God, to the Lord. They don't know the battle that you've been going through. They have no idea.
Yeah.
And you don't have anything to prove to them.
Yeah.
At all. And give yourself grace. And if you have to let them know, this is a grace season for me. I'm giving myself grace. If you don't give me none, that's okay. I have enough that the Father has given me to give myself to cover the grace you won't give me. Give yourself grace.
Yes. Allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself to forgive.
My God.
And listen, and I know without a shadow of a doubt that I am in a great place.
Yes.
Of healing. Like I've built relationships, a friendship. Me and Renee. Shout out to Renee. But I mean, our children are loving on each other.
Yes, I love that.
I mean, the relationship that God has blessed us with, like we can pray with each other. We can talk to each other. We can help each other heal and look. I'm telling you, do not doubt what God is able to do. When you take out the problem and you just allow God to do it, I'm telling you, God is so amazing. So allow healing to happen, guys. Allow healing, because a lot of times it's not the person.
Yep.
It's what they're going through. They're being told things. You're being told things. It's not them. It's that enemy, and it's that spirit that the enemy wants to impart, and he wants it to be passed down from generation to generation. That there's animosity, because he has animosity with the woman. He's mad that every time we walk, he's bruised. He's heated.
Yes.
So because we giving him daily hickeys, okay, he's angry. So he has animosity with us. You know what I mean? He's angry. He's angry. So like, let those moments, let that time pass. Let healing happen, and I ain't telling people not go to your church. Now, don't want nobody try to say I'm canceling church, but I will start a service at my house though. But I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, pastors, give your women grace and your single men, because it's not just women. Give them grace and remember what it was like when you were there.
Yeah.
Don't soon forget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Remember what it was like.
So, Wubby, did you do journaling? Like, did you do writing or like letter writing to God, or like, because there's some people who get healing through the pen.
Yeah.
Or some people do better with music or things like that. But I know you as a poet, and I know that those are things that God has given you. Did you utilize any of those things? And would you maybe would you suggest that for others?
Yeah. Journaling, I still write. I sleep. That's my cousin. There's books on my bed. There's a laptop on my bed. There's journals. There's pens. Might be a couple popcorn crumbs. I don't know. But they're on my bed every night, because sometimes I wake up and the Lord, he speaks or he talks, and I'll grab my phone and I'll record myself. But I wrote a lot. In fact, this book I started in Arizona. I've been here almost 5 years. And it's called Stages of My Healing. And I was like, God, why is it taking so long? Because he was like, as I heal you, you can write more.
Write some more.
And so it's just been a season. And so when it comes out, I know it's going to be powerful, because It's the truth. It's my truth.
Yeah.
And it's not down in nobody. It talks about the amazing parts, because all marriage wasn't horrible. There are some great things. Because you're a great person. I chose to be with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're not horrible.
Right.
You might do horrible things, but you're not horrible. So there's always great things. Like, but it's hard because kids lose a lot in the process of it, So me writing, I wrote for my kids. I wrote letters to God.
Yeah.
I wrote letters to my husband. And at the time I remember that because I got married twice, the same person. And so I was writing letters to God, dear God, dear God. And I remember one day, I wasn't even thinking about rekindling anything. I was writing, dear God, and then the letters shift to dear husband, and his name became a part of the letter. And I was like, wait, what am I? Didn't even realize I was writing this. But that's when everything is started to shift. I knew I was healed because I could never even want to look that way. Right. And so I was like, God, what is this? What is this? And then that's a whole nother story. But I literally started writing letters. And then I wrote some things down and taped it in the back of my Bible, one of my many Bibles. And I grabbed this Bible out because sometimes I want to use different ones. So I was like, oh, I forgot about this one. And I opened it and that letter was in the back of it, of all the things that I wanted to see come to pass. And everything was marked off. Everything that I asked for had been marked off, that I could rip up the letter and start a new one.
So the Lord uses you in that area. You're journaling, and you're writing, your letter writing. So for those of you who feel like that's an area that God's calling you to, don't deny it.
Yeah,
take that time and do it.
Yeah, I even had chalkboard contact paper on my closet when I first moved there that I used to write letters to me. Yeah. That when I wake up, I would see all these great things about me, regardless of how I felt. The days that I didn't want to take my feet off the bed, when I couldn't get out of bed, guys, I would purposefully put my feet on the floor because I had to make sure my feet hit the ground every day.
Yeah, that's one of the things I want to say. Once like the healing process begins, the question is, how do we start living again? Yeah. And what does rebuilding look like?
You know what? I'm still rebuilding. It changes. You know what I mean? Because everything changes. Like it's a new season. Right. It's something new. Like I think for me, it's getting to the place, finishing all the things I never finished. Being able to finish school, being able to date again, freely, not have to worry about what anybody thinks or what people are saying, being able to, if I want to take myself out, I'm comfortable taking myself out. Because I'll be like, I'm going to get cute for me. It's okay. But like just being able to live again, laughing, not making people laugh. Like it was easy for me to make people laugh during my pain, but I can make myself laugh. Like I laugh by myself. I don't be talking to myself, whoever's on there, but I because they be coming for me. And Leroy was on there. They be coming for me. But I, literally, I crack myself up. Y'all, I am really funny. Y'all did not tell me I was this funny. But I did. I learned how to laugh. Not to keep from crying this time, but laugh because I have joy.
Wow. So rebuilding after divorce isn't just spiritual. It's emotional, it's practical, it's financial. It's learning how to live again with faith and direction. Yeah. Because sometimes we just think the healing inside, but what about the other things that need healed? Your finances have been disturbed. Your friendships, what we had mentioned earlier, has been disturbed. Where you live, how you live, everything now is affected. So the healing isn't just your heart is healed and spiritually you healed, but now there's some other things that have to go through some healing, healing. You mentioned, and I watched you, so I kind of had a front view of watching the positions from maybe a lower position to higher, and God kept elevating through, share
without
that
credentials. Getting positions without credentials. Every position that I got required more. And I remember when I first went back to work, when I started working at YouGrow. Because I was like, I need to get a job. This is happening. And I said to Kim on that Sunday, I wish my company
I
Learning
remember
care
that.
group had daycares here because I could
I
just go back
remember
in there and
that
work.
day.
That was a Sunday. On Monday, I went on the website looking for
Mhm.
daycares hiring on the internet, and YouGrow popped up. But when it popped up on my old company's logo from
Mhm.
Arizona. So I called back home,
remember
like,
that day.
hey, I called the regional office and I was like, listen, I said, do you guys have schools here? And she asked me, Lynn, where are you? And I
Mhm.
told her, she said, we just bought 17 YouGrows in that area in
I'll never
January.
forget that. I'll
In
never forget
January.
that. That was crazy.
They said, where are you? I interviewed and I went in. They didn't have any management positions open.
Mhm.
They had a preschool teacher. They had a team lead position. So I went to the York one, but they asked me to take Lancaster, Royerstown, because at the time they were really struggling. And so, which I didn't know the director that was there was on her way moving to Arizona.
Oh
And
yeah,
so,
that's right.
yeah.
It
And
was like
so
you
I
guys
went there.
flipped.
Yeah. And so I went there as a team lead. This was in April. By August, I was the co-director.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't have my director's credentials because Pennsylvania is a little different.
Mhm.
So they paid for me to go to Lackawanna to get my director's credentials. They paid for that. Like, I didn't have to do any of that. Then I was able to get my degree while I was there. Didn't realize the whole time I'm paying for this school here. They was like, yeah, you only need one class. Send it back. You already had your degree, your
Yeah.
associates here. So that way I wouldn't lose any of my credits. Like,
Mhm.
stuff started happening, you know. And I mean, 10 classes down. Anybody want to send money? I'll put my Cash App out there. 10 classes down, but 9 or something. But yeah,
9
anyway.
more.
So yeah, those things started happening for me, and then I started getting different positions, and then I became a director, and then things happened there, and then it was so hard because I was trying to figure out my daughter want to play every sport in the world,
Every
so I had to be able
sport.
to pick her up and drop her off, and my hours weren't flex. It was like 6:30 in the morning to 6 at night, and then the Lord blessed me with a job at Penbar,
Mhm.
which next week is 2 years that I've been at Penbar
So good.
as a program manager. I've never worked with adults with disabilities, but it's amazing.
Mhm.
But I literally have been blessed with job after job after job, door after door after door. And that job is so flexible that when
Mhm.
I need to work from home or I need to make adjustments, I can.
So the favor of God on your life,
Yeah.
as you took your
Favor.
mind off of what was wrong and started to see what was right.
Yeah.
Because we kind of get ourselves locked into some wrong
Yeah.
stuff, you know, all the things that happen to us, and then we become very I'm trying to think of the word where woe is me.
Woe
But
is
when
me,
we start
yeah.
looking at what God has done, he will show you more of what he will do.
Yeah.
He's going to show you more. So as we move forward, God often reveals something we never expected, a new purpose and a new
Mhm.
calling. Let's talk about the calling on your life that maybe you've avoided,
Mhm.
pretend it wasn't there, even
Yeah.
allowed it to be covered, you know,
Mhm.
many times because of not feeling like who you were wasn't good
Yeah.
enough or whatever. But what God will do when he's taking you through those things is because he's polishing you.
Mhm.
He's making you ready to be able to
Yeah.
handle situations so he can take you through and to
Yeah.
some things. So
Yeah.
talk about, you know, how that new purpose
Yeah.
and new calling happened even out of this soil.
Yeah. Messy.
Mhm.
That's why I say he does his best work at best. Because I was a hot.com mess. Okay. But no, it was one thing I will say through all of this,
Mhm.
the dreams never stopped.
Yeah.
Right. The words that God would give me for people, and I didn't understand, it never stopped. Like, even in my brokenness, I don't know how I could encourage somebody to hang on when I was barely hanging on, right? And I'm hanging on by a thread, but I'm like, God, you got to trust him. But this is the word that God, like, able to still minister while I'm bleeding. It was so, like, I didn't understand it. And the more that I was able to trust God in that place and do, God would say, go say this or go do this or give me a word or you got to preach here, you got to do this. And every time I would step forward, he would remove something from me. So he was like healing me through that process. But I always let it kind of, because it was different for me. I didn't feel as received. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when you have a personality like mine, people can't take it. Oh, you're too upfront, you're too aggressive. And I was like, I'm unapologetically me at this point. If you can't take it, I'm sorry, guys. Your girl's not finna dim her light because it's a little too bright for you. Like, I can't. I cannot deny what God created. It's beautifully and wonderfully made.
Mhm.
And it was designed before I was even here. Like, I had nothing to
You
do
didn't
with it.
design this.
I didn't. And so whatever God wants to put in me, whatever he wants to do, however he chooses to use me, wherever he wants me to go, even if it's in Arizona, God, I won't fight you.
not
But
trying
wherever.
not trying to trying to make an arrangement.
We're Gracie with her beard. But like wherever, God wants me to go, like, that's what I'm gonna do.
Mhm.
I don't care who doesn't like it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry if you don't like it. I have to.
Mhm.
I have to do the work of God, because if it was not for him, I would not even be sitting here.
Yeah.
I should have lost what was left a long time ago.
Yeah,
Like, I
I
really should
understand.
have. Look, my buddy called me. I'm on live. But like, I should have lost,
Mhm.
my mind. I remember Lisa Hicks.
I remember Lisa Hicks.
This when I was visiting the bread house
Mhm.
at Princess Street Center. And I just came, I think she was there for something. And Mir was like, oh, you got to come. So I came over to there, and I did not want to get in the prayer line. I was like, I'm not getting in the prayer line. I want nobody reading my business. And I was standing there, and she was like, you come here. And I was like, oh my God. Frida was like, get her, punk. You know how Frida is. And so I go up there, and she said, people don't even know who you are.
Yeah, that's true.
She was like, you should have lost your mind
Mm.
by what you just been through in the
My
last 3 months.
God.
Now, mind you, at this time, we had just lost mommy.
Mhm.
You should have lost your mind.
Mhm.
You should have done this. The weight that you carry. He said,
Mhm.
but what God has for
Mhm.
you.
Mhm.
She did it. Melvin Thompson.
Apostle Apostle Melvin. When he was at that time,
when he came to the heart of God.
Yes.
Came to the heart of God. He told me, and if he ever sees this, he told me that people owe you apologies, and you're going to get them.
And you're going to
and
get
I
them.
got them. I got
'em.
so many of them.
Mhm.
But I'm just saying, like, I had no idea. People don't know. You just don't know. Like, yes, I'm loud. I'm I have my own everything. I dance to the beat of my own drum. Like, I don't need you to play music. I have my own theme song when I walk in the room. Like, I don't need it. But I just want whatever God has for me. It's mine. I'm not giving it up no more.
Yep.
I'm not dimming it. I'm not hiding it.
Yep.
If he wants me to roll down the street in a Lambo, I'm gonna get one. Ain't I want to sow a seed? My Cash App is $.
I'm done. So sometimes the ashes of what we've been through or what we've lost can become the soil for something new, because God doesn't waste pain, not even pain. He transforms it instead. Yeah. That painful situation, he will transform it to something else. It will become the soil for the beautiful things that will grow.
Yeah.
Now, how can the church community better support divorced women without judgment, isolation, or even fear? Because a lot of times they might be afraid of what will come out of them hearing the conversations. Yeah. How can the body of baptized believers or church community better support
just
divorcees?
Just see them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When you know, if you know that somebody is, or they have a family or they're by themselves or whatever, just, you know what? It's not even about what you do. It's the acknowledgement of who they are. Like, if you just put your arms around them and ask them, are you okay?
Yeah.
Do you need to talk? Can I assist you in any way? It's not always financial. It's really not. But sometimes it's just knowing that I may not even want to talk at that moment.
Right.
It's just knowing that you are available. Come up with a meeting, even if it's once a month, for people that are going through this, to just talk about it. Like, you don't need to be. They have AA meetings for people that haven't drank. I was
thinking the same thing about 25 minutes ago.
Like, they still go every day. I'm an alcoholic. 15 years later, still confessing that. No, I'm not going there to say I'm a divorcee and I'm broken. No, I'm healed, but I've been through that. Just once a month. If it's once every other month, or some of us women as a whole, let's get together. Let people know that you are. Because we're not, telepathic. Okay. We don't know. We don't have telepathy. Like, we need to know that you are, or that you're struggling. And
don't feel bad telling it. Like, sometimes it's the pride of fear of people knowing that your life ain't been perfect.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, your girl is struggling.
Because your life ain't perfect.
Yeah.
And none of our lives are perfect. Absolutely none of them.
Yeah.
Even people who've been married for some time. Because my God.
Okay.
I mean, that's why Newt and I tell our story.
Yeah.
It gets rough. It gets rough. And so for people who are married and they're going through some rough stuff, or they're coming through possibly thinking of divorce, or feel like you're already divorced, you need a community.
Yeah.
You need a community of people that can talk with you, encourage you, pray with you, and you need not to be afraid to be honest, to get honest about it. Like, it's just, it's not going like I thought. I was hoping for this, but so what is it? Hearing the testimonies of others or some things from someone else who's been through it could help save your situation. And then you also keep in mind, remember you said you had to get a loan. Sometimes you have to get a loan from those who are the ears that have been the ears for you all these years, because they don't know what to do for you. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, I had my own situation happening. The only thing I know how to do was give. I didn't know what to do because I've never experienced some of the stuff that she experienced. I had no idea what to do. Yeah. And so many times you have to say, I can't look to that person. I got to go here. So build that community of other people that can support you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And know that, and I think I wrote one of the poems in that book where it talks about, know this, women, that when you're bent over, it's not a sign of brokenness, but it's a sign of humbleness. Mm-hmm. It's okay to humble yourself.
Yeah, it is.
Because you see someone bend over, it doesn't mean that they're broken.
No.
You know what I mean? But sometimes it's more of the humbling of it. Mm-hmm. Like, don't be afraid to share. Like, reach out to me. Listen, my inbox is secretive. Okay?
And that's why I wanted her to come on here, because I know what she does in her and the group that she works with and what they do for women. I'm going to promote it as much as possible, because I understand that there is a different type of calling for someone who's been through it and maybe is still coming through it. Okay. That's going to support somebody else.
Yeah. And one thing I will say, you don't have to be married to read baggage claim, because I had to learn to unpack my bag. I didn't realize that I can unpack it by myself.
By yourself now. Wow. So good. So how do we remind, or maybe I shouldn't ask the question, maybe just say that we have got to remind one another that God's plan still includes you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even if you've been divorced, his plan still includes
all
you.
Inclusive.
Yeah. There is no, it's messed up, too late. Nope. It still includes you. Yeah. It includes beauty. It includes love. It includes restoration, not just restoration of that relationship. No. And I'm not saying that can't be, if that's the will of God, but it still includes this restoration for you to be restored to who he called you to be.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we lose. Yeah. We feel like we've lost it because of that.
Yeah. Being restored. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I had to be restored, refreshed, renewed, replenished, reupholstered. Huh?
Reupholstered.
Okay. The old couch needed some new linings. Listen. Woo. Okay.
So there are people out here who may have never been married.
Yeah.
They
me neither. We could do this together.
Who may have never gotten divorced, don't understand the whole woes of divorce, but feel detached in some way where they feel like they're invisible too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because there's sometimes when people don't see them. Us married people, many times, because we already have some things happening here, we may not see you.
Yeah.
And I just want you to,
I see you.
As God, leads you, what would you say?
I talk to a lot of the women that are in that situation. Some women that are older that haven't been married, or younger that are waiting. And it seems like what seems like is over. You know, because the world will tell you if you're not married by a certain age, it's over.
That's crazy.
If you don't have kids by a certain, I had my baby right before 42, so it's never over. Okay, it's never over. But I see you. I know what it's like to desire. And I tell people this all the time because people think that it's not happening, so it's not going to happen to me. If you have a desire to be married in your heart, it's because the desire was put in you from God. People that aren't to be married, usually, they don't desire it. Okay. And I really believe that if you have the desire for that in your heart, that's what you can think of. You know, people be like, oh, you're not praying, because they make it seem like because you're not married, you're not praying it's right. You're doing something wrong. Like, stop. Please stop.
Stop
doing
that.
People. Stop.
Please stop.
That's not true. They're not doing something wrong. They're not, you know, chasing people away. It's not their fault that they're not married.
It's not because they're not at every service. And
it's not, yes.
And
because if you tell me to pray one more time, I'm gonna have a problem with it because I'm praying, you know. It's not that I'm not praying. So sometimes I know it's a timing thing, but I will say this, and I'll always say this: you can't be going to bed at 5 o'clock and locked in your house and expect husband to knock on the door. I always told people the word says, "He that finds a wife finds a good thing." I just present myself findable. He's not going to just knock up on your door. God is not doing magic out there, guys. He's not doing magic. He's not just sprinkling dust and say, "Husband, go knock on the door." Can he do it? He can if he wants to, but you got to you got to present yourself findable.
I remember being at a place, a church before, and a lot of things were being said to the women. That he's coming up in here, he's coming. And the whole time in my spirit, I knew, and I would even say to some, no, he's not going to find you in here. Because you've been here for 5-6 years and he has not. But then I watched as the different people left, they were getting married. So what I'm saying, how to say this is, don't lock your mind down to think that it has to happen this way because you're at this place. Don't lock yourself into that. You have to trust God and his timing. And many times the places that you're at, because you are so swamped with what's happening there, you are prolonging your destiny because you have never gotten the chance to see that life exists outside of these particular 4 walls that you kind of got saved in, and you ain't left and went nowhere. So a lot of times we get locked into that. Don't be fooled by that or make people tell you that you can't go nowhere unless you're under the auspice of this place. No, be very careful with that, because that's a control that, no, be careful with that. I mean, that's pretty much all I want to say about that. But just know there may be a time when the Lord is telling you to go this way because of what he's about to show you. So be aware that could happen.
Go to places. I remember when we were younger, when we used to go to conferences and conventions. You know how many shorties I met?
Oh my God, girl.
Yo, I used to be a missionary. But I'm just saying, like, I met so many people that I still have today friends, you know, connected with. But I'm like, honestly, y'all, I know I'm probably gonna get some booze on this, but you're not finding your husband going to 50 women's conferences all over the world. He's not there. They're all women. That's how they keep you in that little. No, you're not going to find them at every women's conference. You got to go to conferences where it's combined. You know what I mean? You just got to put yourself out there, but sometimes
out there in the right way.
In the right way. And you can still be a member of not saying leave your church.
No.
But it's okay to go visit other churches.
It's okay.
It is.
And don't feel like you're in trouble.
Or go to the grocery store. I met a shorty in the grocery store before.
Why they got to be shorties? I don't know, y'all. So to every woman who is waiting for love, looking for marriage, hoping to heal from this divorce,
hey, Paul,
you know, grace, give yourself more grace. Give yourself more grace.
Oh, grace.
Oh, that's all. If it wasn't for your grace, where would I be? Ooh, grace. I don't know if I have that voice anymore.
that was our song. Where Janine at? That was our song.
Yes. Wondrous grace. All right, we got a little excited. I want to get just to the part where we're just reminding ourselves that beauty is not just because you're connected to a man, that you're not just special just because you have a marriage or a relationship. Nope, you're special because God called you. He gave you his DNA. He called you. He put himself in you. He breathed life into you. There is an anointing on your life. He wrote plans for you. The Jeremiah 20. Listen, all of that. He prays over you. He sings over you. He says you're the apple of his eye. All of these things. So you are already good
Janine
ground.
on there, she said, Grace.
Yes. You are already good ground.
You are good ground. Everything grows there.
Everything grows there. As long as you're allowing yourself to water, be fertilized and pruned, it's going to be rough. Just to recap, remember, we started out talking about divorce and how many times people are overlooked when they are going through this process and how much support is needed. We are responsible. Even if you might not be a person that could go and start this divorce group, you can pray. You can pray for them. People who are experiencing these difficult things, we can pray for them. We all can. It might not be your calling to start a group where there are others, but we can pray. We can give. We can support. We can see them and ask them, what is it that you, or not ask. Just give a little something or do a little something. Check on their children. There's a lot of things we can do. Even for your kids, what things, I know God is blessed now, but what things would have been so helpful at that time had people
a ride sometimes, or just a break. I didn't have many breaks. I had breaks because people were with me.
Right.
And I would have to leave my house to get a break. But I didn't have many breaks. I haven't taken myself on vacations. Or I haven't been able to do that because it's always been the importance of my family. Now I just go stay at my cousin Nini's house because I just hide away in Harrisburg, but it's like breaks. A break it goes a long way. A long way. Just a moment to decompress because I don't get that much, because as soon as I think I can, there's a need. Somebody needs something, and I mean, my kids are bigger now, so they give me breaks, because now they, my kids, they don't really they're still clingy. And I love that. My kids are very clingy, but they do, they have their little lives, but they want me a part of their life. So that's good, because most people's kids don't even want them around. But I like that part of it, but my baby, my oldest, she'll be graduating next year.
That's crazy.
I'm about to have a whole senior in this year. I'm about to have, no, not an empty nest, because I got that little 5th grader. Ooh, y'all pray for me, Michaela, Lord. But, Troy right behind. I got an 11th and 11th grade right now, and they'll be off to college, and, and it's going to be a whole different world. Boop ain't going nowhere. Boop said, I'm going to have to move out and leave Boop there.
And that part is where you're starting all over again.
So that's why I needed to find myself, because I want to know who I am when when the song is over. Yeah. And you know what? It was funny. Not too long ago, Christine texted me, my girl, Christine Lincoln. She texted me and said, when is the last time you danced in the rain? And I was like, ooh. And I'm thinking, because physically we would just go out in the rain barefoot and just dance in the rain. And I was like, it's been a long time, but I did it. But outside of that, when was the last time I danced in his rain? Because the reality is he has been misting and he has been raining on my life.
My God.
So much. And I was you get so fixated, right? On those things that aren't happening. But when I realized the rain that has been happening, that I can just dance. I can dance without music, because it's now that I know who I am, now that I know what I am and whose I am, it's easier to do it. But sometimes you just got to go out and dance in the rain. You just got to dance in the rain. It's natural to feel his presence in that way. So even if it's in your house when he's raining, you just have to dance in that moment.
And ask for the rain at the time of rain.
Ask for it.
When it's already raining, ask the Father
Yeah.
for rain.
Yeah. And I didn't realize the importance of rain until I started having rain dreams
Mm-hmm.
and realizing that it was warm and it meant that there was an overflow because nobody was drowning in it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was dying and people were still operating in piles of water, but didn't even realize that they were in the water because it was his rain and it was his overflow.
Wow.
I was like, wow, the rain is so good.
So even though all of those difficulties that you went through, things that you lost, God gave way back and abundantly. You watched yourself go up in elevating you in your career and just causing finances to come and increase, like from starting at the really low,
starting over
to just building you up. He did all of that. Would you say that all of that is because you decided to forgive and trust God?
Yeah. If I stay in a place, if you stay in a place of brokenness, like if you stay so tight with holding on, because I felt that I had the right to feel the way that I feel.
Yeah.
But I had to be okay with being right and not caring that I was right. It didn't matter. I was okay with being right, but not being right.
Right.
I was okay with it. Like if I would have held that on, there's no room for him to put anything in. There's no room for anything to come out. It was just tight. And there was times where I kept struggling and falling and sinking deeper because I was holding on
to that.
Just holding on because I have the right. Yes, it happened.
Right.
You have the right to be. But where is it getting you?
Where is it taking you?
Where's it getting you? You sitting here mad and people move on with their lives.
And they don't
care
even
less.
Yep.
Could care less. Care less. And I was like, forgiveness is real. Like I had to really forgive. Myself.
That part.
Forgive myself.
So we watch a lot of Tiffany Montgomery's girl. And some of the things that she shared was that she realized, well, first of all, when she had a situation with any person, that immediately starting that day, she started praying for them until she felt nothing against them anymore.
Yeah.
So every day it was, God, I forgive them. And name the people, name the person, name the situation. I let it go. I take it from their charge. I forgive them till she felt nothing anymore. And so in these types of relationships, this is hard because it cuts deep. But start with forgiving and saying it. As I was mentioning before, when you forgive someone, you give it before. You give the forgiveness before they commit the act. That's what forgiveness is. So if we start at the place that I'm already, because I know that this person isn't going to be perfect. I know they're going to fail me. I know they're going to hurt me. I know it's not going to be exactly what I want it to be. I know there's going to be some wrong things said, some wrong things done. I know that this is going to be. So let me forgive. Let me give forgiveness before they commit any kind of harm to me.
Like God did with us.
Which, like he already did. While we were yet sinners, Christ died. So this is a practice that we all need. I'm still learning it.
Yeah.
And the Lord showed it to me. So those are the things to start with. For those of you who are on here today, give the forgiveness before they commit the act.
Yeah.
And if in fact they've already committed it, give the forgiveness although the act is there. And start praying, Father, this person has hurt my heart.
Yeah.
Upset me, failed, did this, and this, and this, and this. Say the truth, what happened. Because many times we try to say our words and sugarcoat our words and say, well, they did this. Nope, say exactly, because the Father can handle it.
Yeah.
He can handle what you have to say about them. He can handle it. He can handle it all. You and him talking, he can handle it. Say exactly what it is. And then get it out of your system and say, but Father, just as you forgave me, I forgive them. I forgive them. And let that forgiveness be said out of your mouth until when you see them or hear their names, it does not even bother you. It's like burning the burning jar.
Burning jar. Yeah. Yeah. You have to. Listen, I had to help people in the midst of still being hurt.
Mm-hmm. You did.
The one that
You
hurt
did. You did.
many times.
You did.
Many times.
You
Extending grace
Mm-hmm.
when I wasn't given it.
Mm-hmm. You did.
Mm-hmm.
So true.
Yeah.
So that's just something for you all to think about tonight. Such a good thing. I try to cut back some of the questions because we could have just been here and going on and on, but we wanted to just give you enough of her story, her testimony, what God did, what I saw, what I watched. I watched it. And I watched it. Sometimes it was this and then it was this. I watched it. I see it. I still see the good stuff happening. And I watch how she will sacrifice for, especially for them kids, man, you know, doing things that I would have never even thought I could do. That's what I see. And so I want to commend you for that. When I said that she pays for herself to go to college, it's no federal government money that's coming through. It is taking a little bit here and a little bit there, a little bit here to pay for these courses so that she can graduate. And just as I said when Apostle Jaquay was on, I don't do this, but what I am going to say is if in fact you feel led to bless her life, you know, her books are still on Amazon, but if you feel led to bless her life, not because she came on here and talked, but because you feel like, you know, I see what she's trying to do, and I would love to see I would love to seed into seeing what God is about to do. So you can go ahead and type your cash up in there if you would. Well, but if you feel led to give, to support her on this journey of going to finishing her degree, she's got so many more classes yet to do, and I think each course, each thing is what? How much?
It's like $1,000 a course.
$1,000 per course, and I think it's like how many courses left?
I think it's 9.
9 courses left. So if in fact the Lord is leading you that maybe to help towards that one course, you know, her Cash App, she did put it in there, and I would love to see, I know I'm going to support, but love to see what God is going to do, to see the finished product of what he spoke. Now tell us what you have coming, what's coming for you, because there's some good things coming.
Yes.
Tell us where people can reach you in case they do want to talk to you a little more in depth and person to person about
my Facebook. Definitely.
So,
you can hit me on Facebook. You can hit me on Facebook inbox, and also on my Facebook page, there's a link to my website.
Yeah, tell that.
Because I have a healing ministry that I use. I am a life coach, Christian counselor. I do all of it, career coach. So I do have that as well, and it's linked to my Facebook. It's called Inner Healing.
Yeah, you need to type that in.
So
when you get done,
yeah, I'll put the link in. It's called Inner Healing. It started out as in her healing because I had a writing about that in my book, in her healing, as I was healing. But the Lord said that he has expounded that it's not just for her, but it's inner healing. So it's doing the healing in her and in him. And so that's a part of what I do. It's best to just hit me on Facebook. That's the easiest. Instagram,
Facebook inbox. Tell them what it is. Lewellyn
Coleman.
Lewellyn Coleman. LEWELLYN and then COLEMAN. Yep. If you can't find her, if you send it to me, I will forward it to her. When it comes to trying to find her to talk with, or for counseling, or for that one-on-one thing, if you send something through this inbox, I will forward it to her so that she knows who you are and can reach out to you and support you.
Yeah, it's easier to do it that way. That's how you reach me. I'm gonna put I'm copying my Google site.
Good. So here's the other thing that we didn't talk about, now that we're done talking about the divorce thing, that somebody here is a plant-based eater. And that plant-based eating that happens in her home has gone on for how many, 6-7 years?
This is going on year 9.
Year 9, my God.
Coming up year 9.
So there's a dedication and a price that she paid for that. So if in fact you are interested in that, because there's just many facets of what God called her to do. If you're also interested in that, trying to find out a little bit more, reach out to her. But some of the best food. I still am waiting on the book for the food book. The food book. I'm still waiting on
Okay.
the food
I did put my
book.
link in there, so it says all the site stuff, but it comes up kind of weird, but the healing link.
Okay, the healing link. But I'm also still waiting on the recipes and the food book.
What? What they talking about? Food out in these streets.
Somebody's ignoring.
This is about healing. You need your belly.
Food is healing.
Yes.
Food is healing.
I've been so busy. I know I have to.
Just saying.
Wow.
The food book.
People out there agreeing. They got issues.
Yeah, come on and say something, y'all. But this a good chef, a great chef. Look, Janine said yes, exactly.
Janine, I'm tired of cooking up there every time I come up there.
So we're done. And one of the things I wanted to make sure that when we had these kind of talks, that we're just ourselves and just say what it is that's happening, where our life is, what happened in the past, and just be ourselves. I even bought food. I had some food in here. She didn't want to eat because I will eat right here on this good.
Just big backing.
Just want to thank you guys for joining us today. I thank God for my sister. She's still my baby sister. She's the baby. She was mom's first baby. She's still a little bit of a brat. Brat pack from the brat pack. From the brat pack. But I thank God for my sister. I thank God for her life. I thank God for how he uses her. And I appreciate you.
Thanks, sister.
Coming on and sharing.
That's my big sister.
And if
don't
you guys
play with us, I don't play about my sister.
If you feel led, go ahead and hit her up in that Cash App so that she can go ahead and finish her courses, because we gonna see her gadget.
What?
But you didn't tell us what you have coming up with Quay. So that we can come online and watch.
Also
Janine on the Baptist Church. Yes, Janine.
December 6th, I will be.
See if I can put this in here.
Receiving my ministerial license.
December 6th.
Yep. 12/6/2025 in Harrisburg. So if anybody wants to come, we'll post it. Yes, I will be getting my prophetic license.
Online. It'll also be
It'll
online.
Also be online. I think she will be online.
Yes,
well.
She did say it will be online.
Yeah.
So December 6th. I'm sorry. In Harrisburg.
Slow down, because you ate that food before we got in here.
In Harrisburg, PA. Under the auspice of Apostle Jacquay Williams. And so it's going to be a beautiful time. I'm excited. It'll be in Harrisburg. I don't know exactly where, but I think there is
I'll have to
go find that there and kind of share that on here. But for all of you guys who joined tonight, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for praying. I pray that I don't have to pray that you were blessed. I know you were blessed by some of the things that were shared, and I pray that you would apply them. Don't walk around bound. Don't walk around hurt. Don't walk around carrying Don't walk around carrying bondage.
No.
Keeping yourself in a place where you can't move. The story doesn't end with divorce.
It doesn't. It is not even the full story.
It's not even the full story.
The healing is the best part of the divorce.
That's the best part. It continues with grace. Mm-hmm. God is not finished with you. And the same God who held you through the breaking, because that's what this was after the breaking, is the one who will guide you into becoming. Thank you so much for stopping by. We love you, and God bless you, and good night.
Good night.